Hello, welcome to the BT360 podcast, What's Up in Business Travel, a weekly podcast where we update you on what's up this week in the world of business travel. This podcast is great for those who need to know what's happening, all in less than 15 minutes. My name is Ash. Let's get started. It is the week of May 19th and the 19th week of 2025. Have you taken advantage of all the status match and bonus point offers that the airlines and hotels are promoting? We do all the work of tracking deals so that you can benefit from bonus miles, points, and status match benefits when they're announced. All you have to do is visit businesstravel360.com to access them all. Now, let's get to the headlines. New data from World Travel and Tourism Council, WTTC, suggests that the United States could lose as much as $12.5 billion in international travel spending this year. According to the New York Times, the WTTC's Economic Impact Research released Tuesday indicates international travel spending could dip to less than $169 billion in 2025. That's a massive drop from the $181 billion earned in 2024. The forecasted total for this year could represent a 22% decline from the peak of U.S. international spending in 2019, when the U.S. earned $217 billion. The WTTC president blamed tourist detentions and steep tariffs established by U.S. President Donald Trump and his administration. The WTTC data also suggests that the U.S. will be the only nation of the 184 analyzed for the study forecast to see an international visitor decline in 2025. In response, other countries are relaxing visa requirements to capture the lost international tourism. Airfares continued their downward trajectory in April, dropping almost 3% compared to March, according to the Consumer Price Index. It is the third consecutive monthly airfare decline after drops of 5% in March, 4% in February. Each of those figures is adjusted to account for the normal seasonal price changes. Airlines have said that demand softness has been caused by declining consumer confidence and a reduction in corporate travel strength brought on by the Trump administration. In recent weeks, however, airlines have noted a stabilizing of the demand environment. Airfare in April was about 8% less expensive than in April of 2024. April total U.S. air sales declined year over year, as did the number of trips sold by U.S. corporate agencies. This is according to the Airlines Reporting Corporation. Trips sold by corporate agencies, those with at least 70% self-reported corporate and government business, declined 6 percentage points compared with April of 2024, marking the fourth month in a row that the figure dropped. The prior declines were less significant, about a 1% in March, 3% in February, and less than 0.5% in January. April total U.S. sales declined nearly 4% year-to-date to just under $8.8 billion. Total passenger trips increased almost 1% compared with the year prior to nearly 25.5 million. Domestic trips was up almost 1% to more than 16 million, while international trips increased 0.6% to nearly 9.5 million. NDC transactions in April accounted for almost 20% of total ARC transactions, a 2% increase from April 2024, with 905 agencies reporting NDC transactions. The April average figure for U.S. domestic round trip was $536. The average price in April for economy ticket increased 2%, and the average price for a premium ticket in the same time period held steady at $1,233. Google has announced that it's going all in with NDC with SAP Concur and American Express GBT. It has launched a Thai Goes to NDC approach that will prioritize NDC content. Under the new approach, the NDC fare will be booked if it's the same price as the add-effect fare. The Google head of travel announced the move on LinkedIn, saying that it was a game changer for the business travel ecosystem. By increasing NDC saturation, the industry benefits in two major ways, he said. It drives adoption of a more modern distribution model while also reducing operational challenges with traditional systems. He said Google, SAP, Concur, and Amex GBT are fully aligned in the vision to accelerate NDC adoption, beginning with its partners United Airlines and American. Now in news that impacts the travel industry. A day after 32 Indian airports were reopened for civil operations, Indian Airlines, Air India, and IndiGo announced their plans to cancel flights to and from a total of 9 border airports amid safety concerns. Neither airline gave any specific reason for canceling flights beyond safety concerns. Meanwhile, budget airline SpiceJet announced resumption of its scheduled flights operations to Srinagar starting Tuesday. The airline said it would also restart flights for Hajj 2025 from Srinagar starting on Wednesday. The U.S. Secretary of Transportation has warned Americans that the technical issues that led to hundreds of canceled flights and delayed flights at Newark Liberty International Airport this past week won't be the last, and they could very well impact another airport. Newark has been dealing with technical issues since April 28th, when over 1,000 flights were canceled following an issue that paralyzed the air traffic control system. More recently, on Sunday, May 11th, a smaller telecommunications failure at a nearby air traffic control center led to delays at the airport. On the same day, Atlanta Airport also experienced equipment outage at its air traffic control center, causing delays for both inbound and outbound traffic. Last week, the Department of Transportation announced a 3-year plan to overhaul the technology that the American aviation industry relies on for safety and reliability. The Secretary acknowledged that the plan currently has no funding, and Congress must approve and appropriate the funds to modernize the system. The FAA will convene with domestic airlines this week to negotiate flight reductions at Newark Airport. The temporary limits are to be put into place as Newark's operations continue to falter. According to the meeting notice, the FAA plans to propose a maximum of 28 scheduled departures and 28 arrivals per hour until June 15th, when a runway that is currently closed for repairs is due to open. Let's get to the news of mergers and new partnerships. Delta Airlines and Korean Air have agreed to acquire equity stakes in WestJet that will total 25% of the Canadian airline. The Onyx Group will continue to serve as the majority owner of WestJet. Korean agreed to invest $220 million in WestJet in exchange for a 10% stake. Delta agreed to invest $330 million for a 15% stake. Delta and Korean have been partners with WestJet since 2011 and 2012 respectively. Delta also has a joint venture with the airline. Separately, upon closing, Delta intends to sell and transfer a 2.3% stake in WestJet to joint venture partner Air France-KLM, also an existing WestJet partner, in exchange for $50 million. This deal is subject to certain Air France-KLM approvals. Etihad Airways and TAP Air Portugal now offer reciprocal benefits for their Etihad Guest and TAP Miles & Go loyalty programs. Members of the programs can earn and redeem their respective loyalty currency on either airline. The loyalty partnership is an extension of the codeshare agreement that the airlines entered into in December of 2023. WestJet and Air France-KLM have added more routes to their codeshare partnership. Travelers flying WestJet's new route from Halifax to Amsterdam can connect to 14 destinations across 6 continents through KLM's European network. WestJet customers departing from Calgary, Halifax, and St. John can now access 4 additional European destinations via Paris, Bucharest, Budapest, Prague, and Italy. Spirit Airlines will partner with regional operator Concur Airlines to provide air service to small markets. Under an arrangement announced Monday, Spirit will introduce service in a number of small cities, connecting them to major leisure markets. The airlines did not announce the launch date for the partnership, but the initial markets will be announced this summer. Concur currently operates federally subsidized EAS routes from American and United hubs to 22 airports. Concur operates EAS routes mostly in the South and Mountain West, but also in the Midwest and Northeast. And now news of new travel services and improvements. Customers booking flights from October 1st will see new names for Delta Airline products. Delta Main will replace Main Cabin, Delta Comfort will replace Comfort Plus, Delta First will replace First Class, Delta Premium Select and Delta One will remain unchanged. In addition, the airline will offer 3 experience options for the Main Cabin: Basic, Classic, and Extra. Main Basic will replace Basic Economy, but offers the same essentials in the Basic Economy fare. Main Classic bookings earn 5 miles per dollar spent. better booking priority, same-day standby, and the ability to choose a seat. Main extra bookings receive even higher boarding priority, 7 miles per dollar spent, and refundability to the original form of payment, along with the main classic benefits. The basic and classic options will exist across the Delta systems, however basic will be subject to availability. The extra option will be limited to itineraries originating in the US and Canada and in select international markets. If extra is not available in a given market, customers will see the legacy refundable product in its place. Canada-based Porter Airlines has launched service between Toronto International Airport and LaGuardia Airport. The route will operate year-round with 3 round-trip flights per day using the E-195 aircraft with 132 seats. The new service is in addition to Porter's flights between Newark and Billy Bishop Toronto City Airport. United Airlines' new 787 Dreamliner will have a much different configuration mix of seats, including 2 rows of bigger business class suites. The plane will also have more premium seats and far fewer economy seats. United expects at least 30 of the new configuration Dreamliners to be delivered by 2027, with the first coming at the end of this year for service in 2026. Flights connecting San Francisco to London and Singapore will be the first operated with these new planes. The new business class suite concept, to be called United Polaris Studio, will be 25% bigger than the standard Polaris seat. Each of the Dreamliners will have 8 studios, which will run 4 across in the front 2 rows of the plane's 2 business class cabins. Polaris Studios will also have an extra ottoman that can be used by travel companions, as well as a privacy door. The reconfiguration is in keeping with the trend of dedicating more aircraft space to higher yielding premium seating at the expense of coach seats, for which revenue growth since the pandemic has been less robust. Air Canada launched free Wi-Fi for its Aeroplan loyalty members. The service, sponsored by Bell, currently is available gate-to-gate on Air Canada, Rogue, and Express flights in North America, Mexico, and the Caribbean. The airline expects to expand free Wi-Fi for Airplane members to intercontinental flights in 2026. And now in some technology news. Alaska Airlines has integrated Jumio ID verification into its travel app, enabling international travelers with U.S. and Canadian passports to verify their identity without needing to stand in line at the check-in counter. Jumio provides automated AI-driven biometric identification verification, risk signals, and compliance solutions, and accepts and verifies multiple types of government-issued IDs, including passports, driver's license, and ID cards. Jumio supports more than 5,000 ID subtypes around the globe. BCD Travel will become a reseller of Amadeus' Cytric Easy booking tool. Cytric Easy is a version of Amadeus' Cytric booking and expense platform, which is designed to operate within the Microsoft Teams platform. It enables travelers to search and book travel in Teams and share trip information with colleagues. BCD is an existing Cytric reseller, and offering Cytric Easy for Microsoft Teams allows BCD to meet travelers where they are for a quick and easy booking. Amadeus previously agreed with TMC's CWT and FCM to resell Cytric Easy. Travel and safety risk assessment provider GeoSure has launched a new safety certification for accommodations and destinations to highlight those that have demonstrated verified safety excellence. The certification, GeoSure Safety Badges, includes 2 distinctions for destinations and accommodations. The 5-star safety badge is for the top scorers across GeoSure's scoring system, which evaluates destinations on a variety of categories, including physical safety, health safety, safety specific to women, and LGBTQ+ travelers. The Safe Traveler Favorite Badge is for areas and properties that have consistently high safety ratings among travelers. With that, thank you for joining us, and I would like to ask you to tune in again next week on Monday morning to get your weekly update. We hope that you will make this a regular part of your week and listen in while you're on the move or sitting back and sipping your coffee. You can subscribe to this podcast by searching Business Travel 360 on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, or Pandora. Be sure to share this podcast with everyone you know so that they can also benefit from getting to know more about what's up in business travel. You can always find more information on businesstravel360.com. Have a great day and travel well.